morning, everyone. How's everybody doing? We are back and ready for a craft today. Hopefully you have what you need. And I'm going to go through those needs right now. So you should have in front of you paper, which I said on the materials needed that it should preferably be cardstock paper because it's nice and thick and sturdy. So that's the most preferred type of paper to use, but it's not a big deal if not. If you are using regular paper, maybe put like a magazine under it or a piece of cardboard or something hard that you don't mind getting a little wet. Put something under the paper to really help make the paper stronger because it's going to be getting wet, and when paper gets wet, it gets soggy. So we've got our cardstock paper, our glue, watercolor paint, water for the watercolor paint, and salt. Okay, so first things first, we need to decide what we want to paint. And what we're going to paint with is glue. That's confusing. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to draw out what you want in the glue first. So like in the past, my glues have been super temperamental, and I need to see if I can get this to work. I should have done this before. Okay. So I think I just need to like clear through my glue. And I think it'll work. So I can see in there. Okay. So let's try this. I think I may have just got my glue to work finally. It really wants to come out. I'm gonna find a needle. Excuse me for a second. Okay, my glue bottle is stuck. Of course, I couldn't have figured this out before I got started. But I found a pin. I'm going to get through it that way. Okay. Sometimes when glue sits for too long, it does this. So it's okay. Let's try that. Okay, it's gonna come out a little bit. It'll work. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so we're gonna start off by just drawing something really simple. And we're gonna draw like a couple things on one piece of paper. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to draw a heart. I'm going to start here. I'm going to draw my heart. Sometimes it might help to draw it in pencil first if you don't think you can freehand it. I'm drawing one side of the heart. And I'm going to draw the other side of the heart with the glue. Then over here, I'm going to draw a smiley face. So these are just really two simple things to get us going to see how this works. So I'm drawing two lines and a big smile. So we'll get into more complicated drawings in a second. But then you're going to take your salt and you're going to sprinkle it over the glue that you just drew. So here, I'll show you what I just drew. I drew a heart and a smiley face in glue. Now I'm going to take some salt and kind of pour it over that. Sprinkle it so it sticks. I don't want to be wasteful with this salt because there's going to be a ton of extra. I'm going to put it on one plate and we're going to reuse the salt we continue to use. So I'm going to get a plate. I'm going to take the paper and I'm going to kind of sprinkle the excess salt onto here. Okay, so now it's a little bit more raised up. I've got my plate of salt that I'm going to use for next time. So I shouldn't need my salt shaker for my next pictures. Okay, so I'm going to let that sit a minute. Okay. Let's see. Okay. So now you're ready. So we've let that sit just like a little bit to solidify on the glue there. And what you're going to do is you're going to take watercolor paint and gently paint the salt. Okay. So the way watercolor paints work is you go in the water first and then you get the color. I'm going to go into the purple. And I get it into the purple. And I'm just going to lightly, got purple at the tip of the brush, and I'm just going to lightly touch the salt. And the whole section is going to turn purple. Then when I need more, I'm going to go back to the purple so that the whole section of the salt is turning purple. Just go back in and and it's just a light touch. When you touch the salt really lightly, it spreads so fast that you don't need a ton. So it's spreading on there. Okay, almost done with my heart. Okay, so I finished the heart. And then you could do the same thing for the smiley face. I'm going to go into the yellow. Wow, the yellow is really bright. I'm just lightly touching the salt. Going back into the paint and lightly tapping the salt with the brush. And I'm going to wipe my brush off because I'm going to go into the black for the smile. Oh, that was brown. Go into the black. There we go. And again, you just lightly touch the salt. You don't need to smush it. Just enough to where it blends where you need it. So now I've done the smiley face. The glare done? Okay, yeah. So I'm going to set that to the side to dry. And now we're going to draw something a little more intricate. So this is where if you have a pencil, you might want to get that now. And then we'll go over it with the glue. Okay, so I'm going to draw it in black markers so that you can see. But you should get a pencil or a pen or something. Okay, so let's draw a pineapple. Okay, we'll draw some fruit. I'm going to turn my paper this way. And what I'm going to do is, here, I'll draw it first. So we're going to start with just that basic shape. Okay, so everybody draw a big shape like that. Then I'm going to draw the leaves. On top. I'm going to draw lines going this way, across, then I'm going to draw going the other way. Okay, so we've got a pineapple. All right, so now what we're going to do with our glue is go over those lines. So we've drawn the pineapple, and now I'm going to go over those lines. Just tracing what I just drew with the glue. If the pineapple was too hard for you and you want to just draw a flower or something, that's fine. But this is just to give an example. So I'm following the lines. I'm going to go my angle lines. 1, 2, 3. Hurts my hands. 4. 'Still going. 'The glue is being temperamental. And do this last angle line, then I'm going to go the other direction to trace the other lines. So stop and show you really quick. I'm just tracing the lines I made with glue. And I'm going to go back and do the other way. This hurts my hands because this glue bottle is not very nice. There we go. Last line. Now I'm going to trace the leaves really quick. And then I'm going to cover it with salt. Okay, so I've got the whole thing traced out with glue. I'm going to reuse the salt we used before going to get more. And now I'm going to need a little more. I'm going to sprinkle it gently on there. Getting all the wet spots. I'm going to let it sit. I'm going to sprinkle it onto this plate. So it looks like that, kind of chunky. And now I'm going to paint it. And you can paint this whatever colors you want. I'm going to start with the leaves. So I'm going to make those green. So again, it's just a light touch. Don't drown it in water, otherwise your paper is going to be soaking wet. You don't need a ton of water, just a droplet. You need more paint than you do water. The water is just to get the paint like a little bit wet. Okay, I'm getting through the leaf here. And like I said, you can draw whatever you want with the glue. Helps to draw it with a pen or pencil first so you know what to do with the glue, because the glue can be a little hard to just draw with. But, or you can just freehand it. And you didn't have to draw a pineapple, but it's kind of a challenge. And you can follow along if you want. Or you could draw one of the things we learned how to draw, like the flowers or the animals. Okay, so I'm getting to the end of the leaf here. And I'm going to do my pineapple like all different colors. You could do yellow, or you could do it all different colors. So there's my leaf. I've painted it green now by just lightly touching it. I'll let that sit. Paint in between a little bit. Okay, so just kind of painted in between there to color it in. Which you can go back and do once it's a little more dry, but I'm starting with the yellow. And I'm going to go purple. Then I'm going to go blue. And blue on this next stripe. And I'm just kind of, if you go over the other color you did before, it goes over it really nicely. So if your purple bled too far over, you can just go over it with your next color. So I'm kind of just going in a stripe pattern here. But you can do whatever colors you want. Here, I'll stop and show you after I finish this blue what mine looks like right now. Okay, so I'm kind of just going in stripes. So I've done yellow, purple, blue, and then I'm going to keep going. I think I'm going to do another strip of yellow because that yellow wasn't a lot. This yellow is kind of blending with the blue, and it's kind of turning it like an aqua green, which is kind of cool. Let's see, I got blue in my yellow. I'm not trying to have that. I'm going to stick with this pattern, so I'm going to go with my purple again because I've done this yellow like I did at the start, and I'm going to go back to purple, and it's just kind of looking like a ombre of colors. Just getting the cross points, and then I'll do the long part. Some you might have to go back over. Okay, almost done with my purple. This is how it's turning out, and then I'm going to go blue for the last little bit there. But can you see that? And then this last line here is going to be blue. Let's see. Almost done here. Okay, and then I've finished the pineapple. So this is what my pineapple ended up turning out to look like. You can do all one color, a bunch of different colors, but you want to set these out to dry before you like take them anywhere or anything. You can do a bunch of different things. That was just something intricate and cool. You can draw flowers. You can really draw whatever you want for this. And then you just sprinkle the salt. Make sure to reuse. And then let it dry for a second, like 10 seconds, 30 seconds. And then just lightly dap it with the pen and the watercolor paint. Make sure you're using watercolor paint. It won't, I don't think it'll work with any other kind of paint. So, all right, guys, have fun. Enjoy water painting, and salt painting is what this is called. And let me see your finished products. I'd love to see them. All right. Zumba this afternoon. It might start a little early today, so Zumba might go on at 1. We'll send an email out if it does. But just a heads up that Zumba might be at 1 o'clock today instead of 1:30. Okay.